Okay, hello, thank you, Tori. So my name's Liz Elam and I'm Principal at Abbey College, Manchester. Thank you for joining us today to look at and explore the sporting opportunities that we have at the college. So by way of introduction, I've already said my name's Liz Elam and I've been working at college now for 21 years and I've seen the development of the college over the years, and this is just sort of a culmination of the exciting things that we're able to offer at the college. Now, joining me on the panel, I have Chris Randall, who is Assistant Principal Pastoral and Boarding, and he's going to talk about the college facilities and our new exciting accommodation and Manchester as a city. I have Mick Brennan, who's Director of Football at International House Manchester, and he is going to talk about the football programme. And I have Jamie Edwards, who's the Director of Manchester Giants Basketball, and he's going to talk about the opportunities with basketball. So let's have a little brief introduction to the college overall. Some of you may be familiar with Abbey College Manchester, some of you may not. So I'm going to just spend a few minutes running through some of the sort of key features of the college. Now, we are a small familial college. We have around 200 students. And when I interview students and I talk to them, I say to them, you're going to join our Abbey family. You're not going to be lost in the crowd. We're going to be looking after you while you're away from home, and we're going to know you, and we're going to make sure that you feel settled and happy in Manchester. And along with that, we have very small class sizes with individual care. So a maximum class size of 12, which we believe has an exceptionally good impact on students in terms of their confidence and so on. Now, our college itself has got a very wide mix of students. So we have students from the UK comprising around 40% of the student population. And then the other 60% of the students are from 35 nationalities at the moment, sometimes more. So no single nationality dominates. Obviously, the UK students are the largest group, but it is a truly global college, and it makes a fantastic place to work, to learn, to get a stepping stone to university, and indeed for the skills in life of mixing with people from around the world. Now, the college has an excellent academic reputation. Our teachers are highly qualified, they're passionate about their subjects, and that's reflected in the results. So in 2020, we had a 100% pass rate at A level, with 52% of students getting A star A and 94% of students getting A star to C. Our International Foundation programme average score 71%. Bearing in mind the range on the offers from International Foundation programme is 40% up to around sometimes 85%. So 71%, which is the kind of score that's needed, for example, for the medicine pathway, is an excellent average. And at GCSE, top grades were got by nearly 50% of our students, again with a 100% pass rate at GCSE. So in terms of the programs we offer, obviously you can see that we've mentioned A-level, GCSE and IFP. And the program that is offered to a student will depend on their age and also on their background, their educational background, their experience of English, and where they're wanting to progress in terms of the course progression to university. And what we do at interview is we discuss with each student in detail the best program for them. And once students arrive at the college, we sometimes may allow them to change programme in order to fulfil the needs most effectively. Every student will get individual support for UCAS for gaining successful university applications. So first of all, let's think about the courses that we have on offer, just a little bit more detail. So A-levels are a 2-year course. Students start those after GCSE or high school equivalent and would normally be age 16 or 17. Normally students take 3 subjects across 2 years, although sometimes we may offer a 4th subject. For example, further maths is quite common. And the exams are taken at the end of 2 years in normal times. We have a wide range of subjects from the sciences, we've got art, photography and humanities, business subjects. So we've got a good range of subjects to choose from. Now, A-levels, of course, are the ticket to university, either in this country or anywhere in the world. So they are a universally accepted qualification. Now, the International Foundation Programme is very popular, and this programme can be taken over 2 years, 18 months, or 1 year. Students coming for 2 years might choose it because their English is not quite as strong, and also they may have slightly lower academic studies at GCSE or their high school equivalent. So a 2-year programme helps develop all those skills they need where they go into the main programme in the second year. Some students do A-level in the first year and then switch to International Foundation in the second year. And some students who've already done level 3 study in their own country or elsewhere come for the 1-year programme. Now, we have a huge range of pathways and we're very flexible, but just to give an idea on the list here: business economics, creative arts, engineering, environmental science, humanities, medicine, psychology, science, and sport, which we'll talk about later because that's obviously linked to this webinar, but that's our new IFP programme. So the next thing to talk about is progression. So you've done your A-levels, you've done your International Foundation programme. Where are you going to go to universities? Well, as I said before, if you're studying A-level, you can apply to any university, either in the UK or abroad. If you study IFP, you can go to almost all universities in the UK, apart from Oxford, Cambridge, Imperial, who won't accept that qualification. You can progress to some universities abroad, but again, that'll be on an individual basis. However, in terms of partnership agreements, you can see the list here, very impressive list of universities who we have specific agreements with. So Aston and Brunel, for example, for IFP and particularly for our medicine pathway. Same with Buckingham. We've got Bradford, Bristol, Dundee, Keele, Lancaster, Leeds, Loughborough, Newcastle, Plymouth, the list goes on. And as you can see here, they are a wide range of universities, but not only do they accept our programs, they come and talk to our students, they give them individual advice and support, and often quite interesting lectures, sample lessons, and so on, which is a really good experience for the students. As I said before, IFP students, however, will go on to a large range of Russell Group universities. So you've got there Bath, Birmingham, Durham, King's College, Manchester, Nottingham, Queen Mary, Sheffield, York, to name a few. So as you can see, very versatile programme from the IFP. Now, at this point, I think we really need to get to the point of what our webinar is largely about. And it is about academic studies with either football or basketball training. So just to give a sort of brief overview, what we do have is we have the programs available for both. And any student, male or female, who is 14 years or over and has a passion for football or basketball could apply to one of our programs. And this offers them the opportunity to study GCSEs, A-levels, or International Foundation programme in the morning and do their lessons, and then have football or basketball training in the afternoon, led by professional coaches. So this very exciting programme is what we're going to talk about now. And we've got Jamie here and we've got Mick here to talk about those. And just so you can see really convinced here that not only does these programmes allow for the sport to be developed, but also the academics. Look at the destinations here of some of our footballers. A-level students to go and do at Manchester Chemical Engineering. Several students going to Nottingham doing civil engineering and politics. Sheffield Hallam Accounting and Finance. Look at the lovely offers they've got this year. A-level students with offers at Leeds, Loughborough and King's, and our IFP students at Kent, MMU, Queen Mary, York, Sheffield, Hallam and City. So you can see here that the playing of the sport actually possibly enhances the students in terms of their academic and their sporting performance. So it's my pleasure now to hand over to Jamie, and he's going to talk about the basketball programme. Jamie, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, and welcome everybody. So my name's Jamie Edwards, and I actually own the Manchester Giants, and it's a very, very exciting time both for the basketball and for Abbey College. The Basketball Academy is a new program. Recently, the club was acquired, and it's quite an iconic club in Manchester. goes back into the 70s. But one of the NBA coaches currently today, the Toronto Raptors coach who won a championship 2 years ago in the NBA, was the former coach of the Manchester Giants. So the club has a very rich heritage of basketball. Unfortunately, for a decade has not been where you would associate this great brand with. And now we're tasked with raising the standards and the aspirations to coincide with what you would know as the two famous football clubs, Manchester United and Manchester City. And so the club plays in what's called the BBL, which is the Premier League of British basketball. And this is quite exciting. This is the team behind, you can see behind the text there. And there are number 21, who happens to be 7 feet tall and is a Manchester boy originally. So he came through a similar program. And the one thing that I want to emphasize at this point with the Basketball Academy is the word access. What we have with the coaching program and the BBL team is that the student athlete will have access right into that pathway, going straight to potentially the professional game. The club and the academy will be based at what is the National Basketball Performance Centre. This is like the, in football terms, this is the Wembley of British basketball. And the students will be training in the same venue on the same court as the professional team. There'll be transport between the college and the venue, which is no more than a couple of miles away from the college in the centre of Manchester, which is great because proximity is also very important when you have a sports program. Any sports program, being close to the college is very important. We have a number of aspects where the student athlete will be able to engage with. We have a club called the Breakfast Club. It's almost an extracurricular. It's 6:30 in the morning, and it's where we train our talented basketball players in the morning before they actually go about the rest of their day. Coaches are all National League coaches, very experienced, and the new head coach of the club is somebody who has 13 years of developing some of the best young players in the country. And it's one of the reasons why he was hired, because of his Great Britain credentials and also his credentials of developing young people. So that's very important. The extra analysis that the players will get from an individual perspective, so there'll be lots of attention on developing them, and depending on the level of basketball that they have already, we will be able to develop, their skills and abilities through analysis, through training plans. They'll play a lot of matches, competitive, not just with other colleges, but also inter-club and against other academies. What I'm really excited about from my perspective is the development of mental skills and mental training, and the development of their basketball IQ. Very similar to the college philosophy. There's a certain standard of requirement. The standard of requirement is a passion for the game, a thirst for learning, and these mental skills that can be applied not just on the basketball court or in the sporting arena. If it's the football, it can be applied in life as well. I'm I'm really encouraged as well because of the courses, the academic courses, and this was how Abbey and Manchester Giants came together, that the courses that are being offered academically are also, there's a lot of science and technology and math that is in a basketball setting. And what we'll be doing with the students, they will also have access to our performance department. We have a growing medical team as well. And we want to give them access not just to playing basketball, but to seeing what happens outside of the basketball court as well. And I think that will only enhance what their experience at Abbey in Manchester. I just mentioned that developing mental skills is very, very, very important. We will be creating an environment for your student athletes where they will be developing their skills, not just their physical skills. For me, currently, I'm in Leicester at the moment. I've got lots of experience of working with elite sportsmen at Wimbledon Tennis Club, Leicester Football Club, Manchester United, lots of elite superstar players in different sports. And my real passion, and this is where the college and also with the football side, is that we will be giving the students those same skills that I've been training to some of the famous sports stars around the world. I'm more interested that the importance of the application of those skills outside of their sport as well. So I think for me, the opportunity for a student now and in the future is to have access to, yes, league games. That would be a given, but it's going to be a personal program. They're going to have access to some very expert coaching. There's a pathway to universities, and also they'll have this proximity to the professional team as well, which is very unique. And this work experience in sports marketing, we do have access to some of the brightest sports marketing minds that have, as an example, helped with the rebrand of the basketball team, the brand identity. I've just, with my blessing, helped a former volunteer who had experience in the club and then has moved on to a professional marketing role in a bigger sports club. So this pathway of development in the real world is also part of the basketball ethos. And then finally, all the students, if they're on this course, will have a passion for playing the game, but also watching the game. And they'll have a season ticket to come to watch the Manchester Giants on a weekly basis. So we currently have an interview with one of the students so far. This is Yetu, and he talks about his experience with starting the program, albeit that remotely, which is a great example of we're able to still coach. Was able to still coach and teach the game and the mental skills before he gets to Manchester. Unfortunately, the current world circumstances have not allowed you to come to Manchester straight away. But what was your attraction to Abbey College this year?
So my attraction to Abbey College this year is I was looking forward to seeing new ideas, new customs, and new traditions around Abbey College. They integrated international students, so I mean, I can learn from it. I can learn from their experience, their history, and their background. And even though this can build my own great mindset for myself. Yes.
So you were attracted to learning from different place, different culture, different education system. Yeah, very good. And as well as the education and the history of Abbey College and the reputation, you were attracted to the basketball, and why is that?
So firstly, basketball is my passion. I really love to play basketball, and I enjoy to play basketball. So I don't force my through a lot of sport. School actually sometimes force students to do sports that we don't appreciate it. But basketball was one of my it is my main sport that I really love to play. So. Mhm.
Yeah, and this is great for this year going on, because it's a good point that you make, that very often when you go to a school or a college, you only get to do the sports that they offer, and this is the first time that basketball has been on offer to Abbey College. You know. So you're going to be experiencing and have been experiencing training with myself and the Manchester Giants, and we look forward to welcoming you in Manchester. So if basketball is one of your passions, and we've started the coaching, and it's been very much a hybrid of learning so far, hasn't it?
Yes.
You know, what have you enjoyed most, or what have you enjoyed about the coaching so far? And then we'll talk about specifically.
So in the exercises, I enjoy. Sometimes I mostly enjoy the practice or the exercises, because usually here they don't give us the basic for basketball. We just go there in the court and do the game, and we learn from it, playing by each other, and yes, and so for these exercises or drills that coach have given me, and the videos that I have seen that I'm improving in such little things that I didn't imagine that I could improve from that, and I'm seeing something, like, and I'm seeing improvement for my skills.
This is good. You're saying that you've seen some things that you might not have learned before.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about in our conversations and our coaching about learning the basics, very much like when you're in school, and there's some basics, there's basics of English, reading and writing, there's basics of math and science. And in basketball, it's exactly the same. There are some basics that we have to introduce you to, and that's what we've been doing. But because we've been also working remotely, we've also been able to introduce you to some things that we might not have been able to introduce you to, and to be able to shorten that learning curve. And that's through the Manchester Giants platform. How have you enjoyed working through some of those videos?
I really enjoy to watch some videos, such as the breakfast thing. I really love it.
You like the Breakfast Club?
Yes, breakfast club. So I really love to watch these videos, and And even though I can watch it anytime I can see, I can even watch it during I'm doing the exercises or practice. So when I'm doing it, if I did wrong or if I have done something I feel that I'm unsure of it, I can watch it from the video again.
That's great. And it might be just worth to say that the Breakfast Club is 6:30 in the morning training. Yeah, I'm not quite sure you're going to be ready for 6:30 in the morning training. But it's very good that you can learn from those training sessions of myself coaching some other young aspiring basketball players, and it's great that you have also you have joined the basketball program. So what are you looking forward to about coming to Manchester now?
I'm looking forward to have face-to-face lessons with Coach Amy, and I look forward to know my teammates, to know the team, to see even or just to play, compete, because I really love to.
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to have this experience playing in another country.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to having you also. So, okay, so we will make sure that we're continuing with our way, which is for the next few months, and we will prepare you before you land in Manchester.
Yes, sir. It's good.
So one moment.
That's great, and thank you for the basketball there. I'm Mick Brennan. I'm the director of the Football Academy from IHM, and thank you to everybody at Abbey for welcoming along to this and everybody attending. I'm going to tell you a little bit now about the Football Academy with Abbey College. And as you can see on that slide there, we launched this in 2018. So going into next season, we're going into our fourth year. This year's been a tremendously successful year. We had up to 28 players on the program from Abbey College who were studying in the morning and then training with us in the afternoon. Various different numbers of days that they were training with us. So it's been tremendously successful. And being in Manchester, in the centre of Manchester with the college and where we do the training in the centre of Manchester, which I'll tell you about a little bit in a moment, is we are in the heart of English football. We are in the home of English football, especially now. Manchester City have just clinched the title. Manchester United are hot on the heels in second place, but it's not two clubs within Manchester and around the area. There are hundreds of clubs, not only in the Football League, but the semi-professional clubs. So we are in a hub of football. But what do the students get on the Football Academy? Well, they get professional coaching by UEFA qualified coaches and strength and conditioning and fitness. And our coaches aren't only coaching for us on the program, they also either coach with professional clubs. One of them coaches with Everton Football Club as well. Or still play. So David, who you can see just behind there in the picture, David Raven, is an ex Liverpool player. He holds a Champions League medal. Not many of us can say that. But he's also still playing. He's playing semi-professional for Marine, and they were in the spotlight this year, playing in the FA Cup. They played against Tottenham Hotspur, and David there was playing at centre half and was marking Harry Kane and these type of players in there. So they have the experience not only for the coaching but in the game as well. All the players will get evaluation and progress reports, and they're very simple reports that give a lot of information for the players, and we rate the players as they go through, and they get them each term so they can look at their progress out there on the pitch. We have competitive match play. So the boys today are going out and they are playing iSports, an academy close by to us. They played FC United, one of the spin-off clubs from Manchester United, earlier in this week, and actually beat them. So we get competitive match plays we go through. We work with each individual player to give them advice and guidance within the professional game. And that's progressing in football. That might be playing and that might be off the pitch and working in the game or in sport. And we give plenty of opportunities. I'm going to talk a little bit about the opportunities further on in the slide. All the players come kitted out. So they all get kitted out. And you'll see in some of these slides in the red and black kit. So they've got that identity. They belong to the academy. They belong to the team. It also gives them a sense of responsibility of making sure they're in the right kit, got the right equipment. But our approach to everything is this player-centered approach. We look at the individual player. As Jamie was saying earlier on, we are dedicated to developing that player, not only as a footballer, but as a person, and looking at how we can do that. Moving on, when we're sort of looking at the actual coaching and what they actually do. So the coaching takes place on a 4G pitch, so we can play all the time, whatever the weather. We are in Manchester, the rainy city. Training is never called off because of the weather, because we're on the state-of-the-art 4G AstroTurf. And we provide transport to and from there from the city centre college. It's only a few minutes up. And recently, the company that we deal with sport has been providing us with the Burnley Football Club team bus. So they've been travelling in style recently. As I say, we focus on the potential of every single individual player. So whilst we are looking at them as a team and they love to go out and win like they did on Monday, what we're looking at is when the players come into us, what level are they at, and can we get them, and we can get them to reach their highest potential, whether that be going on to playing professionally somewhere in the world. It might just be going back home to play at a higher level. It might just be learning the game, but making sure that we can get them to their potential. We do testing, we do target setting, reviews, constantly doing one-on-ones with the players to help them progress on. And those keen players will come to us and they will ask, and we will work with them. Throughout the program, we have guest sessions, guest speakers. So they don't always just want to listen to us and the coaches on a daily basis. They want expertise from the game. So we have guest sessions that come in. We've been able recently, working online as we've had to get some really good guest coaches and guest speakers to come online. So recently, we've had the Blackburn Rovers first team coach has come on and talked not about his coaching, but about his analysis. And he brought his head analysis chap onto there to talk about how they look at analysing the visiting team and things, some insightful stuff. We've had in the past, we've had Darren Fletcher, who's now Manchester United's first team coach. He's come in and done a session with the boys, and he's then done a Q&A with them after that. We've also had ex-Liverpool player talking about resilience. He's come online and talked about his career, Neil Mellor, how he had to work through adversity and his resilience working through the game. So it gives the players a really good insight. We have, in our match play, we are playing at different levels of teams all the time so that we can expose the players to all sorts of different levels. So we play academies, we play private academies, we play pro clubs, we play college teams, and it gives them a real good basis to play at. Now, we talked about opportunities for the players, and that's what they're looking at. So one of the major things that we've just introduced this current year is the player panel. And we recognise for our students that come from all over the world, to progress on in the game at any level here in the UK can be very difficult for a number of different reasons. Not only the competition for them places, but also sometimes visa status, sometimes the laws within the game, the restrictions within the game, either here in the UK or within other countries. So we've set up this player panel, and every player that comes on the programme for whatever length of time they come on, get the opportunity to go into that player panel, but it's putting a little bit of onus on the players to have that will and that desire and that ambition to want to progress on. And they can put in their online profile, which we can assist them. They have to demonstrate correct mental attitude and display good character on the programme, engage in everything, not only out on the pitch and the classroom activities, demonstrate how good they are out on the pitch, and they can go into that player panel. And then our coaches and management team will look at those players that can impress and that we feel we can push on, and we can then recommend them for trials in Spain, in Portugal, or in the UK, depending on visa status, and we can try and help them to progress on. Alongside that, we also do showcase events where we will play for a full day, or we will do coaches and some set things for a full day, and we'll invite teams and scouts and clubs and representatives to come and just watch the players. And we give the players guidance on football and sports related careers via further education, via higher education pathways and universities and what they can do, because sport in the UK is a massive industry, and we preach to the players about this, that it's not just about playing. When you're looking at big football clubs like your Manchester United, your Manchester Cities, they're big businesses, and they have opportunities. If you understand, if you have a passion for the game, you understand the game, they have so many opportunities to have a career in sport and in the game that aren't playing. And it might be in the physio side of things, it might be in the marketing, it might be in the business side of things. And having that understanding of playing and working with teams can really give you a good step on in that ladder. We give absolute honest feedback. Okay, we manage the expectations of the player, so we make sure that they know at all times where they're playing at, what level they're at, and what their expectations can be for progressing on. And then we've also got a route into the US scholarship scheme via our partner Soccer Assist. So all the players get the opportunity to look at that and whether they can go on to the US for their further education and to play at a really good level out there in the US. Now, I think from the football point of view, we're going to have a little look here at what some of the players, and these are current players, these are players that are with us, students and players that are with us right now on the programme, think about their experience here.
Okay, so we've got Sangmin here from South Korea. He's on our football course. So Sangmin, can you first tell us a little bit about the standard of the coaching that you've had on the football course?
I came to Manchester 2 years ago, and I started football training with IFP College at IHM Manchester. And there were basically two main coaches, Matt and Dave, and both of them coached me to develop my football skills and how to cooperate with my teammates, and how to be mature as a adult. Okay, now you've trained twice a week, don't you? So can you tell us a little bit about why you chose to do 2 days a week of training and how that balances with your academic? Last year I did five days in a week. However, for this year I'm doing A-level. I thought I need more time to study and to prepare for my exams in A-levels. That's why I chose 2 days in a week. And also choosing 2 days in a week makes me to organize my time and how to improve in both football and also in my education.
How's the course helped you to develop yourself personally and to develop your football skills?
Football training makes me makes me a lot of friends in the college, and also to enjoy the English football. Normally I played with my Korean friends in South Korea, but from here I noticed that playing with international students makes me more enjoyable and more energetic throughout the year.
Okay, and what are your plans after you finish at Abbey College?
I'm planning to go to the university in London, and I'll try to be in the football squad in the university as well. And because throughout the football training, I know how to make friends by playing football together. And after that, in university as well, I'll make more friends and I'll have a happy time there.
Okay, so we've got Said and Con here, who are from Uzbekistan. Said, you train 5 days a week at the moment.
Right, yes.
How do you balance your time between the college and football?
I'm trying to focus on both to do my best at studies and football at the same time. However, sometimes I even manage to do some extra work for football and extra work for studies. So I think my time for studies and football is balanced very well. So normally I have a training after the college. So after that training, I have free time. I can either study or do some football training, go to the gym, whatever I want. So normally it's very good balanced.
Cool, thank you. Colin, how have you developed as a person during your time at Abbey College?
When I came here to UK, I was 14 and my level of confidence was very low. So as I came here first, I started to speak to people much more than I did before. So my level of confidence speaking English and speaking to people got higher. Also, I developed my responsibilities of doing, like getting ready for going to college or to football trainings and everything. I got my skills developed a lot.
And so, how have your footballing skills developed since being here?
Obviously, as everyone knows, English football is very high intense, very physical. So even though I had quite good technical attributes when I arrived, after my arrival in UK, I realized that I need to work much harder on my physical attributes and my stamina and stuff like that. So I started improving very quickly. And it took me about 2 months to get to the senior squad. So after getting there, I kept working very hard, and at the moment, I think I'm in quite a good shape, both physically and technically. So I believe English football has had quite a good impact on my physical attributes.
Okay. Colin, what are your plans after you finish at the end of this year?
This year I finished my GCSE courses, so I'm planning to go ahead with my A-levels next year.
Okay, and after your A-levels?
After my A-levels, of course I'll try to go pro in football, but if it doesn't work, I'll try to go to university and I'll try to go on business degree in university.
Okay. Last question aside, what's your favourite thing about being in Manchester?
I think mostly what I liked in Manchester is how people are keen to help you. They're always open, and you can always receive the feedback you want from coaches, for example, or from the teachers, or whenever you have any troubles which you can solve on your own, you can always ask for help, anyone here, and that would definitely make your life easier. Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks very much. Okay, so we've got Theo here from Israel. Theo, just first of all, could you tell us a little bit about your thoughts on the standard of the coaching at International House?
So I moved here like this September. Like I enjoyed. There are a lot of amazing people here, coaches, staff, and also like my teammates. I enjoy the practices. The quality of the practices are very good. Like there are a lot of good exercises. Yeah.
Okay, so how do you feel the football course has developed you as a person, and the support you've received from your coaches and stuff?
I believe that I became more mature and got more responsible for the stuff I do. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. And how have your skills developed since joining the course?
I believe that I became much better than 1 year ago because we have amazing coaches that like I enjoy working with them. They're professionals, so I like it.
That's there are 4 players, students that are currently with us, and it's great to sort of hear what they say, not only about how they progress on the pitch, but also the off the pitch and the maturity and the organisation and the confidence So we've got a couple of success stories here. So Rashik here, and this is an academic success. Rashik was on the programme for 2 years with us, but also studying, and he's progressed on to University of Manchester, studying chemical engineering. And his thought, it was about his confidence, not only on the pitch, but off the pitch, and how he could manage that time of studying and also training, and how that helped him with his organisation side of things. And moving on, our next one, Mukhtar, he's managed to progress on to the University of Nottingham doing civil engineering. But again, he was on the programme, and when he came on the programme, he was somewhat apprehensive, a little bit shy and quiet, but he developed so much confidence with his communication skills and making friends on the pitch just from the sport. So that's the power of what the sport can do alongside the academic side of things. Now, moving on, I'm going to talk to you about the International Foundation Programme, the IFP in Sport, our new programme that Liz mentioned earlier on. And I'm delighted that we've been able to develop this with Abbey College, so as an international house, and I've managed to be part of writing this programme, so we can bring the academic side of the sport to the college, as well as the practical side being out on the pitch. And this is delivered by our coaches, by the football coaches, who have all been through their own academic experience, going through universities, going through college and studying, but also the skills actually either playing or coaching professionally. So this is a designated sports programme, allowing students to develop that theory side and a qualification related to their sport and to progress on to university. It can be done as a standalone sport only course, and it can be done in combination with all of those IFPs that Liz listed early on, and we'll talk about the ways that can be done. It's linked to on the pitch, and that's the beauty of the coaches working there in the classroom with them. The students can link what they're doing in the classroom to what they're doing out on the pitch. And as Liz said earlier, there's so much flexibility depending on their age and previous study, from a 2-year, 18-month or a 1-year study on this programme. So what does it actually include? What's in the units? So we've got 2 strands of this, Sport 1 and Sport 2. And mainly the students are looking at combining with another subject, whether it be a biology or a business or something such as that. They would take the Sport 1 plus another. If they're looking at it being solely sport, which they can do, they take Sport 1 and Sport 2. And there you can see the units and how it really does link in to what they do out there on the pitch. So we're looking at performance analysis. So we're looking at the theory behind that and the techniques and the ways of doing that. And the students get to analyse performances. They get to look at different performances and analyse themselves and others, and they can link that to their play out on the pitch. We look at the human body and how that affects their sport, and we look at things such as the cardiovascular system, the bones, the muscles, the energy systems, the respiratory systems, and how all of that works and how that can enhance their sport if they take care of it, if they understand that a little bit more. And the professional athletes side of things is looking at how there are different levels within sport, whatever sport that may be that they are interested in. The majority at the moment are on football or on basketball. And that's currently delivered by David, who's one of our ex-professional players who works there. So he has that insight into the professional athletes and how they have to train and how they have to work. When we look at Sport 2, they're looking at fitness and how they can enhance their game, but what all the components of fitness are so they can understand that. And then we lead into the practical side of things, which gives another avenue for their progression into maybe coaching or maybe working on analysis or working on different things. And that also gives other skills such as leadership and maturity, where they're leading groups and they're working with their peers on coaching. And then finally, in unit 3 of Sport 2, we look at sport as a vehicle for change. So the political side of things. A lot of our coaches, most of our coaches have worked in what we call community programs here in the UK, which are attached to professional clubs. And that's part of a program that go into the community to look at disability coaching within the community, or how they can influence the different backgrounds of people, how sport itself can help to enhance the community. So that's the 2 strands that they can do, and it really gives a good theoretical side of things, and some of those are practical, to what they do out there on the pitch. And the assessments are throughout the year. A lot of that is done by assignments. There are some exams, but a lot of it's done by assignments to help the students go through. So what can they progress from the sports IFP? Well, as Liz was saying earlier, we can combine that with different subjects. So they can look at progressing on to the business management and sports management side of things. They can look at the sports studies. They can look at the coaching and performance if they're just looking at the standalone sports programs. We've had this program already agreed with some of the universities, some of the top sports universities here, who've approved the course for progression into there. So UCLan is one of those who've looked at it very closely, who've got a great sporting department here in the UK, looked at it very closely and accepted it for all of their sports courses. So it is a great route for the students to progress on. So looking at what the students say, like we said, we've started this program in January this year, and we've got some students on here. And this is two of the students that are currently with us that have made comments on the program. And I've had the honour of actually working with both of these students. So Kieran, the first student there, says about class sizes and how it links across to what he does out on the pitch and the access and that. And I know that Kieran, earlier on with his studies, before he came on this program in January, well, he actually started a little bit later than January, he was struggling with that connection of having his sport and having his studies. And now it really links across, and he's really liking the fact and really engaging in his, it links across from what he's doing out on the pitch. And Nairam, I had the honour of actually teaching him during the lockdown. We did some of the remote lessons and I was teaching him on the human body module. And he's really engaged in it, and he understands that, yes, he wants to go and play, but there's a big range of things that he can do within the sporting industry, and that this will help him to progress on to university to be able to do that, or into roles within sport. So I think now I'm going to hand over to Chris, I think it is, who's going to talk to you about Manchester and accommodation.
Fantastic, thank you, Mick. I'm going to be fairly brief because I know we've not actually got much time left. And it's really great to hear all about the basketball and the football programs, and of course students coming to join us here in Manchester. The vast majority will be coming to board with us, and we're really excited here that we're moving boarding accommodation in September to Clydesdale House, and you can see some photos there of Clydesdale House. And the beauty of the new boarding accommodation is its location. It is only a 5-10 minute walk from the college building, and it's a very safe walk. It's right through the centre, the shopping centre of Manchester, and so the boys and girls will be able to get home or get to college really quickly. So if we move on to the next slide, so there we go. So we've got 3 different types of rooms available. For those students who are coming on the sports programs, they will have the standard room, and the picture of the standard room is there in the top left hand corner. There are also other types of rooms. There's the deluxe and the premium, and if the students come to join us on the sports program, they can go into those, but they'll have to pay quite a bit more, because the standard package for the sports students will be the standard. And all of the rooms, whether they're standard, deluxe or premium, they're single rooms. They've got a nice double bed, and they're en suites. They've got their own bathrooms. They've got a desk area to work, so they don't need to be disturbed by the others when they're studying in the evenings. In terms of the building itself, as I say, it's only kind of 6 to 10 minute walk away, and we only take students there who are over 16, and they need to be 16 by the 1st of September. That's really important. I'll talk a little bit about those who are under 16 in a minute, because Said and Con, as they both said, they've been with us since they were 14. So it's a really great building. We're taking the top 3 floors, so we're taking floors 2, 3 and 4, and we will be providing the students with all the food. We'll be cooking the evening meals and making sure they have a nice breakfast and bring a packed lunch to college with them. We have a fantastic chef. She's called Esther. She's originally from Nigeria. although she lived for many years in Spain, and she's been here in Manchester for quite a number of years. So her cooking style is eclectic, to say the least. The boys and girls really, really love her cooking, and she's part of the pastoral team. So she enjoys spending time talking to the students. Similarly, the students really enjoy talking to her. And again, if the students, if they want something specific or particular to be cooked, Esther is more than happy to see what she can do to help them out. A lot of the boys and girls they love her jollof rice. It's one of the favorites. So obviously high-speed internet connection. We've got 24-hour security. We will have two live-in house parents who'll be living in Clydesdale House alongside the students. We interviewed them last week. We appointed them last week, and they're both coming to us, one with lots and lots and lots of pastoral experience. So we're really excited to have them on board. And included in the price of Clydesdale House is laundry. And there's bike storage on the ground floor, but I think the laundry is really important for the students who are coming on the sports courses. Obviously, if they come back from playing a match or come back from training, they're going to want to be able to wash their football kit or their basketball kit or whichever other sport they may be doing. So in terms of the accommodation, then they're not. So the rooms are not divided up into flats, but rather into clusters. So they're a cluster around a central kitchen and a central common room, kind of on each side of the building. So we'll have boys on one side, girls on the other, and the boys won't be able to get to the girls' side, and the girls won't be able to get to the boys' side. So it's very safe. And then with having the new live-in house parents, we're also going to be arranging lots of weekend activities, COVID permitting, evening activities, because there's so much to do here in Manchester, and within kind of a half an hour or an hour's drive. Curfews, obviously, we will be keeping the students very safe. Obviously, curfews, it'll probably be 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the evening, at which point all the doors will be locked. Nobody will be able to get in, nobody will be able to get out unless in an emergency, obviously. And then we will also make sure that we do all the cleaning of the common areas. We'll be cleaning the students' bathrooms for them. And I've said before, the laundry is included in the price, which is great. In terms of those students who are under 16 then, so if they're not yet 16 by the 1st of September, they won't be able to come into Clydesdale House, but we do have homestays available, and we've got a fantastic network of families across Manchester who welcome our students to live in their homes with them. And what is particularly interesting is quite often the students, even once they then turn 16, they join the A-level or the IFP program, they choose not to come into boarding because they're being looked after so well by the homestay hosts. So we've got families all across Manchester, and of course living with an English family, the students, as I'm sure you saw from Side and Con, their English is absolutely fantastic, and that's in part thanks to living with a Mancunian family. And again, living with a family, and they are treated as a member of the family. They get their own room, and again, they get all their meals provided, all their laundry done for them, and the homestay host can take them out at weekends, show them around, show them how to get to college and get to places where they want to go. So it's a fantastic opportunity for the students to come and join us who are under 16 and not old enough to go into boarding. Then in terms of Manchester, it's a cracking city. It's a really warm city. It's a very, very multicultural city. It's a great place to be. You can see a picture of the Etihad Stadium there. The music scene is great, the sports scene is great, the cultural scene is great, lots of cinemas, lots of museums, art galleries. We've got a tram system all around the city, the largest Chinese arch outside, I think it's outside of London, a huge Chinatown, and slap bang in the centre of the city, we've got Abbey College. So we are right in the middle of the city of Manchester. And as Liz said right at the beginning, we are a small familial college. The building itself is over 7 floors. Some photos there, so it's really well equipped. We've got some study areas, fantastic photography and art suite up on the 4th floor, science labs up on the 5th floor. I think there's 3 computer suites plus lots of laptops, iPads, Really, really great facilities for all the students. So that was a really brief whistle-stop tour of boarding and accommodation, and I'm going to pass you back now to Liz.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, so I know we've had a long webinar this morning, but I think you'll agree that the information that we've had both from Mick and from Jamie and from the students has been invaluable in maybe helping you develop an understanding of the programme that we're offering. So just to summarise, we believe that studying academic studies with sports develops a student. We have a routine, sort of a 5 R's framework. We think it helps stretch routine, and we heard the students saying that. They develop an understanding of rigour, both in the academics and sport. We heard the students talk about responsibility, developing that, and developing their resilience and reflection on what they're doing. So I think you can see that to develop the whole person for a student who has a passion for football or basketball, then this is an excellent programme. You could also see the flexibility, as Sang Min described, that he was 5 days a week in the first year, and then he's playing football 2 days a week in the second year. So I hope that gives you an overall summary. Now, just on a very brief note, just to talk about September, obviously, COVID-19 is still with us. We hope it won't be, but we in the UK, as you know, have a leading vaccination programme with well over half the adults population now vaccinated, and a falling number of cases. We have been open now since March for face-to-face teaching. We haven't had any COVID cases in college. We've done everything very, very carefully, and we will continue so to do to make sure that from September, everything is absolutely safe for students and staff alike. And I think that's a really important thing for you to know, that actually being in boarding, being in the homestay is a very safe environment to be in, as is the college itself, with all the precautions that we've put into place. So I hope you've enjoyed the webinar. I think it's been a fascinating insight. If you've got any questions, then please do ask them in the very small amount of time that we've got left. And if not, we can take some questions offline and answer those separately if required. I haven't seen anything come up in the chat and the Q&A as yet, but if there's anybody there who would like to ask something, please do. And as I say, we can always take things up separately, offline, direct information. Thank you.
Thanks, Liz. That's great. And if anyone does have any questions, as you said, please ask. Just thinking, I know some of you did ask questions beforehand. Just thinking of one question is, and I know we did touch on it a bit as we were saying, listening to the football boys talk about how many afternoons a week they play their football for. So how is it decided who kind of, like Simon said, he trains for 2 days, Con was saying he trains for 5 afternoons. How does that get decided, how much training they have?
Okay, so generally the students that come in year 10 and 11, so we'll do 5 afternoons. It will depend on the number of GCSE subjects they're taking. So in year 10, when Side and Con arrived, they did 5 afternoons. And because they're doing academic English and they're doing 2 other GCSEs, they can train every day, because they also will go into our 2-year foundation programme where they can do some more GCSEs moving forward. The students in year 12 tend to do 5 days, because we have lessons in the morning to catch up any afternoon lessons that they miss. Moving into year 13, it varies between, I would say generally between 2 to 5 days. I think the students doing A-level tend to drop down the most, because A-level is the most challenging of the courses, and the students doing IFP maybe tend to do 3 or 4 days. And again, we do offer some catch-up classes for any lessons that they miss, and of course there's recordings of those as well. So that sort of helps with the academic progress. I think this year it's been slightly different, because we've had a lot of time off the pitch, obviously, without, due to circumstances. Not that there wasn't training going on, as you saw with Yetu. He was having training from Jamie and the other coaches, and Mick and Matt and David were busy doing lots of exercise training and sort of developing other knowledge of football in the afternoon slots. So in the end, it's very bespoke, and we are open to developing each student as is best for them. And that's one of the beauties of coming to Abbey College. You're not going to be a one-size-fits-all. We are about bespoke and the individual and what best suits that person.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much. Okay, so I've just got a question here about entry requirements. So are there any professional requirements on the sort of football and basketball side to be able to enter the course?
I'll let Mick answer that one, actually. Yeah, Mick.
From a football point of view, no, there's no professional requirements. What we would potentially ask is an overview of experience playing, and maybe some references from current clubs or coaches. But there's no level of professional, so long as the students have played the game a little bit. We'll accept any students on there. We like to say at interview stage, when the guys at IFP College, we may ask for, have they got any video footage of them playing, or have they got a CV or some references?
So just to carry on from that, yeah, I tend to interview the students who want to come and do one of the sports programs. And when I talk to them, I will always ask them kind of who they train with, if they play for a team, etc., etc., etc. And on the whole, it is boys and girls who are currently playing, sometimes for their sport, for their school team, but quite often for other teams as well. And they are really into their football and their basketball, which is why they want to come and join us here on the program. As Mick says, we then get references, CVs, and videos if possible.
I think it's important to add that to come on the program and just suddenly think, oh, I'd like to take up football or basketball isn't necessarily a good plan, because the students would not have the stamina to do that. I mean, it could be a switch of sport. They might have been doing a different sport and have that kind of sort of, already got that sort of routine. Because as I think one of the Azerbaijani boys said, I had to get my physical shape up, although he was playing for his national team in Azerbaijan, he still could see the difference with the English football and how much more physical it is, and the importance of body conditioning and so on. And I think that that's important to know. That said, you don't have to be brilliant at playing. I think it's more about the wanting to do it and being committed to doing it and building that each time. I mean, we all know that most people that do it are not going to become professional footballers. That's the truth. But it's the same in many things that we do that we enjoy doing. They are something that still helps develop you and gives you that alternative to your studies and works alongside and together.
Okay,
Levels point of view as well at the moment, we have a senior team and a development team, so we can always find a level for the players. I think as one of the boys said in the interview, he started in the development team and has managed to move up into the senior team. So okay,
that's great. I hope that answers the question. We haven't got any other questions coming in, and I'm conscious that we have sort of taken up more than an hour of your time this morning, so thank you very much indeed. Again, there's been a lot of information from the presentation this morning. We will make sure that a copy of the presentation is available to you all, and also a copy of the recording as well, so that you can look back and at the information that's been given. And if anyone obviously does have any questions leading on from this morning, then please don't hesitate to get in touch with us at the college, with your local my colleagues that work within your regional areas around the world, and we'd be very happy to answer any further questions. So I think I would say thank you very much for attending this morning, and I'll just let everyone else say thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.